different, man. I'm showing the difference.
I'ma show them it's a different. I'ma only say this once, you better listen. When West is where it started, so you know that's where it finished. We got one main objective, nigga, let's complete the mission. We explaining what the who, lead them bitches and they feelin'. Snub on me, only time I put my nose inside your business. I don't want my gun to show, so I wear my shirt bigger. This is our world, cause if this was your world, I'd be the villain. Break his whole block down, all I gotta do is business. Stuffing Mac shell drums, turn your crib to Sunday dinner. You don't live here, you visit, this my shit, it's a difference. I don't do lean, Lobos in my cup is what I'm sipping. I don't do dreams, I just say a prayer, go and get it. And it all work out, you know this ain't for play, this ain't for fun. I've been destined for this shit, niggas know that I'm the one. This shit can go 100 yards, you would think I kicked a punt. You would think I had a flare gun on go, you niggas run. They like he an Israelite, all he rap about is guns. Bitch, I'm an Israelite that own a lot of guns. What that nigga said who? Tell him watch the grind. Yeah, you must be crazy if you ever think of stopping mine. Knock all of the chains out you niggas, make them drop a dime. This Taurus hold 12, it is not a zodiac sign. Piss me off, get me in my bag, make me drop a bomb, drop a nuke, make the world freeze, I can stop the time. Watch what you do, cause once you do it, you can't press rewind. On purpose, I do the opposite, so nigga cross the line. This is different, I ain't looking for trouble, but on point, case you think I rap. Turn them to a vegetable, lead this nigga cabbage patch. No new niggas with me, if you see them, then they got my back. Got it out the mud, big stepping, you can see the tracks, follow me. I can teach you something, have her see relax. If you gonna speak on anything, just make sure it's fact. It's a difference, we are not the same, help them notice that. Pay attention, watch how we move, we can know we can't. Hang around all real niggas, and we move as one. This ain't Fortnite, get into it, ain't no 1v1. The smoke I bring to you, you can't take it in with your lung. Life about warfare, we just make it look fun. She asked what kind of oil I got on, I told her give them some. When West the only real niggas left, you better get you one. Chicken shop, giving out wings if I pull a drum. It's a difference, you better watch your words before you eat your tongue. Scrape the whole plate, not a trace nor leave a crumb. Ice falling off the watching chain like it's freezer burn. Daring somebody to say my name, I would eat for him. Loyalty means everything, so I don't eat with them.
All right. Hey, shalom. Yeah, Bashim Yahshua thumb to the men. Shalom. Yahshua Bashim Yahshua to the sisters and priest officer of 5,000 Matazva with the I.S.U.P.K. That's the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the commanding Gen.YAHANNA. We started off 125th, 1 West Hum, New York. We've been doing this since 1969. And that's bringing the truth to the so-called Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Americans here in the Americas, right? Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and get this shared out. For those watching class, make sure y'all go ahead and get it shared out also. Bye. All right. Yeah, in there. Today's law class, right? So, contrary to popular belief, I know Christianity and the world, they want to say God has changed things and God has changed, and the God in the Old Testament ain't the God in the New Testament, right? Got it. We got it. We understand, right? The reason they do this, we all understand. If the God in the Bible has changed from the Old Testament to the New Testament, well, now people can be grafted in, and every nation can be saved. Now there's judgments for every nation, but you have to understand that in the scriptures it does not declare that every nation will be saved, right? And we have to understand that, right? But today we're not touching on that topic. But we're touching on, of course, the law has not been done away with, contrary to popular belief. And there's things that we today in this society we deem to be minor things, minor infraction, things that we believe that God wouldn't care about, right? That God wouldn't mind these actions. God wouldn't mind these things that we do because, well, things have changed. The Bible needs to, alter and change to the new times. And, it's just the way the Bible was constructed back in that time. It was only meant to fit that time and not this time. What we have to understand is, one, the scriptures is called the living word because God's words are absolute from the beginning to the end. Like his words don't change, they don't alter. It's us who have changed and who have altered. And we want to alter God to fit our altered egos and our altered mode of doing things, right?
Right.
Just because we do things different doesn't make it right. And just because a great multitude is doing it does not make it right. We've all heard that saying, if all your friends went and jumped off a bridge, would you go jump off a bridge too? Well, of course we wouldn't do that, right? Well, that's where we're at now in today's world. It's called a social agreement or socially acceptable behavior.
Right.
And just because it's socially accepted does not make it right. We can understand that certain things are socially acceptable today that we know for sure. Well, I say we. Well, I can't say the Christian church no. I can't say those who claim to be ministers of the Most High God no. But we as priests and prophets here in the I.S.U.P.K, we know and understand that the scriptures declare many things in regards to relationships and how they should look here on this earth. And I'm going to tell you right now, one of them is not a man and man, and sure not a woman and woman being together. Right. But let's go back to like I said, let's go back to the ones who believe that their behavior is not deemed to be, how you say it, not negative, but you know what I'm saying? That like it doesn't come with reprimand. Like there's no need to be reprimanded for this behavior. There's no reason to be chastised. No reason to receive judgment from the Most High God for these behaviors because, well, it's a new time, a new era, right?
Right.
So what we're gonna touch on is, of course, interracial dating. We've touched on it many, many times before. We see a lot of stuff that goes on in the news and in the media with these, I guess you call them role models or superstars, and how they, getting taken for everything, right? What's it saying with the women? Once they become superstars, they change up.
Right.
We have to understand that it's all a ploy. It's all about imagery. If we can portray this imagery, right, make it seem like all the rich people are doing it and all the people who are famous is doing it, well, then guess what commoners are going to do? Commoners are going to automatically want to assimilate that lifestyle because they don't want to be different than their role model. They don't want to be different than the rich and famous. Actually, they want to be as close and how you say it, look alike. Almost, well, I said it already, more role models, but we're when I say covetous, well, we're one covetous nation and we're covetous people. So we see all these superstars that go out here, they have black women, black girlfriends, and as soon as they make it to the NFL or to the NBA and get drafted, they're making multi-millions, right? We understand the sayings that they all switch up.
Right.
It's just imagery. It's being done. Their lives are no longer their lives because they're entertainers, right? They are entertainers. They get paid to entertain. They no longer control their life. As much as we want to say, oh, that person, this, that, and that, and the third. But you have to understand this is one big show. And how can I ruin the masses? Well, I have to make it seem like everybody's doing it. The rich and famous is doing it, But we have to understand that's not how God looks at it, right? So, like, if you can, real quick, give me Psalms 89:34 and hold that for me. Because we'll sit here and say, oh, when I say we, I gotta stop this we. I'm real good at how you say it, putting everybody into a box or and it's not everybody, but it's a majority, right? And the reason it's majority is because you have to understand it's like this: either you stand for something or you fall for anything.
Right.
Silence is the same way. How to say it? Silence is equivalent to being with somebody. If you see something going down that you don't agree with and you're just silent, then through your silence, you have agreed with the actions that are taking place. Right? We can't be silent when it comes to serving the Most High God. We can't turn oh my God, look what they're doing. We're going to look, let me look this way and pretend like I didn't see it. We're supposed to be bold as a lion, right? Cry out loud and spare not. But we got a lot of passiveness, and we've been taught passive aggressive, and I'm not gonna say turn the other cheek, but you get what I'm saying. Like through silence, we automatically agree. It's a lot of things that go on in the world that a lot of people don't agree with, but through your silence and through your lack of action, you've given up the right to say you disagree, because through your silence and through your non-action, we have to assume that you agree with what's going on. Like I don't agree with our people being unalive for simple traffic stops, our people being stereotyped and profiled when we didn't have boats or planes to get drugs or guns into our community.
Right.
I'm upset. I don't agree with these type of things, but guess what? A lot of people do, because why? Through your silence and through your lack of action, right? You agree. You agree that we're the monsters that comes to the earth, that we're super predators and everything else, every other negative connotation the world is desired and come up with to label us. Our brothers, the Native Americans, were labeled savages.
Right.
But how could they have been savages when America are the ones who broke over 500 treaties?
Right.
So you're telling me the people who are looking to make peace are the savages, but the people who did not keep up not one of the treaties, they get portrayed as heroes and war band. Like, come on,
Right.
like it baffles me. It baffles me, but it actually makes me upset because we're in a world where imagery and characters can, define who you are, regardless of what job you have, what position you have on this earth. When you out in public and you among your people, they just see another colored person.
Right.
Right. Your title and your position don't mean anything. Right. Salaki, go ahead and read what you got for me. Let's see what the Most High God, if it's different dispensations or if things change, if God changes. Go ahead.
Psalms 89 and 44. Thou hast made his glory to cease.
Salaki. Psalms 89, 34.
Oh, Salaki 34.
No, you too up.
Psalms 89 and 34. My covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that is gone out of my lips.
The Most High God himself says, my covenant I will not break, nor alter the thing that has gone out of my lips. So every scripture, right, is for instruction, reproof, correction, and sound doctrine and righteousness. The Most High God just told you he's not his covenant. He's not breaking it. He's not breaking his covenant, nor is he going to alter the thing that has gone out of his lips. So for us to come to the conclusion that everybody can be saved, somebody had to have told us that lie, because God right now just says he will not break his covenant. Right?
Right.
Lucky, go ahead and give me Malachi 3 and 6. Let's get another precept from the Most High God. See what he says about changing, because for some reason we have this idea that God desires so much to change himself. Right? He created us. The way let the world tell it, he created us to be wicked. And he created us in such a way that he, at some point, desired that he was going to change. He knew that, hey, man, I know I'm this way right now. I'm creating this wicked people, and one day I'm going to have to change who I am to accept them for who they are. Now, we don't see no scriptures that say that, but based on the actions and, again, the words and the propaganda and the story that's being told, we can only assume that this is what the world is trying to say, that God, the creator, created the people that to be wicked, because you ask the people who love the man and woman, they'll say God created me this way. God put the girl inside of me to make me feel this way. So from that standpoint, because a lot of them fill up the churches too. They're in the Joel Osteen, Creflo, they're filling up the churches too.
Right.
And they're saying God created them to be who they are. So from that ideology, we're saying that God knew he created the wicked people and that one day he was going to have to change to accept these people and their wickedness so that everyone could be saved. Go ahead and read what you got for me.
Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am the Lord, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed.
So again, the Most High God says, I change not. So we get it. He says, I will not break my covenant. I change not. This is the Most High God. So he's not changing. He's not breaking his covenant. So regardless of what the masses and what the world's trying to tell you, you have to understand God is letting you know, I'm not changing. It's you who needs to change.
Right.
It's you who needs to come back and keep the commandments and the statutes I gave you, Israel. So-called black man, Hispanic man, and Native American man. It's you who needs to change and meet me, because you made a covenant with me. No other nation made a covenant with the Most High God but Israel. Israel made that covenant. And Israel is the one who said all the things that were said we will do. Right? That's the covenant. So the Most High God is saying he's not breaking that covenant. So we Stiff-necked people need to stop breaking that covenant and come back and do what's required for us to do in that covenant, which is to keep every word that's in that covenant, right? Because we want the promises, we want the glory, we want all that, those aspects of the covenant, but we don't want to fulfill our obligations in the covenant. The covenant's a contract. It's no different than you going to the dealership and you say, "Yo, I want to buy the car," and the dealership's all right, sign here and here. That's the covenant. That's the contract. And you're agreeing with the dealership that, hey, I'm gonna do this, and you're in contract with the bank saying, hey, if you give me this loan, I'll pay it back with interest. You're agreeing. That's a covenant that you're making. Now, what if the bank said, well, they do this, right? When people start missing their payments and they're not upkeeping the covenant, what do the dealerships and the banks come do? They come repo your stuff. They don't say, hey, man, it's a covenant. We're going to change. We knew you weren't going to pay it. We knew you wasn't going to uphold your side. So we already car is yours. It don't happen that way. But again, for some reason, we don't use that logic when it comes to the Bible. It was a covenant, a contract that was made between us and the Most High God. God says, do all these things. We said, we'll do all these things. And if you do all these things, then I will do these things. That's the covenant. That's a contract. And it was based on conditions. Not what the world says, oh, God loves us unconditionally. No, everything in the Bible is based on conditions. If. As soon as somebody says if, that's the beginning of a conditional statement. If you do this, then I'll do that. If you do this, then you get what I'm saying? So we have to get off the tomfoolery. We got to get off the short bus. We got to stop playing with the rest of the world and believing in the lies that they're telling, because through simplicity, that's what they teach. Through simplicity, our people have lost their identity. Through simplicity, our people add sin to sin, because the world says all you got to do is believe and holler Jesus. Amen. In the name of Jesus, I believe. And you say, you ain't got to do nothing else. Come on, man. We got to wake up. That's not part of the covenant.
Right.
Stop listening to man and listen to the Most High God. Right? But Salaki, real quick, if you can give me, let's see here. Go ahead and jump into Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. We're going to go ahead and get into this interracial dating, because we deem that to be socially acceptable today, and nobody should judge us, and God's going to love us, and God knows our heart and knows who we are, and he's going to relax on us when the day of judgment comes. Go ahead and read what you got.
Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 3. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter shalt not give unto his sons. Salaki. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son.
Right.
Nor his daughter thou take unto thy son.
Pause right there. This is the Most High God giving Israel a commandment. He says, don't give your daughters unto these other nations, nor take their daughters unto your sons. That's the Most High God. That's called interracial dating.
Right.
Now people think, well, Native Americans and Mexicans and so-called blacks and the Guatemalans, your Puerto Ricans, all those are different nationalities. No, those are different captivities. Our nationality as a nation of people, we are Israelites.
Right.
We just took on the name of our oppressor, the ones who had us in captivity. Not only did we take on the name, but guess what? We took on their speech, their language. So what we have to understand is that Puerto Rican and Hispanic, they're brothers. The Haitians, right? They're brothers. The so-called, Native American men, we're all brothers.
Right.
We're all one nation. Christ said, "A nation divided will not stand." It makes perfect sense to give a nation of people different bywords to go by. Because if they believe that they're a different nationality, or they come from a different place, or a different wrinkle of time, or whatever you want to call it, they're less likely to come back together.
Right.
Because we're gonna have tribalism. We're gonna, no, man, prove that I'm you. No, man, prove that I'm you. And no, man, there's no way that Mexican people are Israelites. Hey, man, there's no way that us Puerto Rican people are Israelites. Man, get out of here with all that hocus pocus. There ain't no way black people are Israelites. And here we are, just destroyed.
Right.
Due to the lack of knowledge, we sit here and we deny our birthright because we've been lied to. We've been deceived. And we feel like it's just a waste of time. Why? Because we're too busy trying to be the next NBA star, the next NFL star, or multi-billion-dollar this, or this, that, and the third. We're chasing after worldly things, and then when it comes to spiritual things, things that pertain to us and us alone, we deny it. And the crazy thing about it, we still don't realize how much we fit the scriptures. And when I say that, when we look back in the scriptures, anytime I say Israelite, the different tribes got mad at each other. Let's say Benjamin got mad at Levi, or Levi got mad at Judah got mad at Issachar, or anything like that. You'll see through scriptures time and time again. Anytime we got upset, the first thing we did, which is crazy because we do it to this day, is that we denied each other our daughters and sons. We said, "Hey, man, Benjamin, man, you done crossed the line, man. You can't have no Israelite women. And not only can you not have any Israelite women, our men are not taking on your women. We're not dealing with y'all like that." And it happened time and time again throughout the Bible. Every time we got into a feud or got upset with one another, the first thing we cut off was marriages, dealing with one another. Guess what? We are destroyed people now. Guess what? We're doing the same thing now. Oh, no, you're not getting with that guy. Oh, no, you shouldn't get with that person. But the crazy thing about it, and it's not funny, as much as I'm getting ready to say this, is as much hate that we have for one another. The one thing that rings true, no matter what, is that we will always gather ourselves into our enemies. Right. I see a black man with a Caucasian woman. I see a Mexican man with a Caucasian woman. I see a Puerto Rican man with a Caucasian woman. Good. I see all these different men with Caucasian women, and then vice versa. You turn around and flip it. I see a Caucasian man with a Puerto Rican woman. I see a Caucasian man with a Native American woman. I see a Caucasian man with all these with us. We'll deal with the ones who destroyed us. We'll deal with those who put us in captivity. But when it comes to dealing with one another, we have a strong hate for one another. Oh no, I can't. No, we don't do that interracial. It's interracial when it comes to actually dealing with your own people. Right. But when it comes to dealing with the other nations, we don't bat an eye. We don't lose sleep. We're destroyed people. The scriptures declare that we're not to the interracially date. When I say interracial, I'm talking about through nationality, not these different not ideas, but these different bywords the world has come up with for different nations of people, just to confuse us and confound us, right? So, like, go ahead and give me Tobit 4 and 12 in your pocket.
Tobit chapter 4, verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son,
right,
that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
Right there. Avoid all whoredom. God considers that interracial dating as whoredom. Avoid all whoredom. Right? Hearken unto me, my son. Do these things that are pleasing to the Most High God. Remember, our forefathers married their kindred, and it was a good thing. They got blessed. But here we are, so lost and so stuck in the sauce that we still doing everything opposite. Why? Because we hate. It's called self-hate. When you hate yourself, you don't want to deal with yourself. It's a part of you that you want to cut off. But God said, as far as Judah and Israel, we're going to be one nation again. That thing which was cut off is now made whole again. That which was unclean is now made clean.
Right.
We're going to be one nation, regardless of what the world just strategics and strategy they put in place. This is not going to stop us from being one nation. Because we read in Psalms where God says, His words don't leave void. Everything that comes out of His mouth is matter of facts, right? And they're going to happen, right? So, Lucky, go ahead and give me Nehemiah 13, 23 through 27.
Okay.
So we're gonna touch bases on again how the scriptures will say how the scriptures we read books, right? And we understand when we read books are in certain contexts. And it doesn't take a rocket science, and when the book states certain things, we can tell if it's a negative connotation. What I mean by that, it's when we're reading, you know how you're reading, like, and Bobby slapped Judy, and you're like, oh man, it's messed up. Like, and you can tell that that's not a good thing based on all the other words that follow after that. Well, that's how the Bible works. When there's something good, you always see positive reinforcement, words of encouragement. Do these things, hearken diligently, do this, great work, da 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 da. And then vice versa. When you're doing something that's not pleasing to the Most High God, well, you see words that, man, I messed up, won't do it again, cut off. Right? We gotta stop the madness, right? We got to stop dealing with other nations. We got to stop dealing with other people. We got to get back to dealing with ourselves, right? The scriptures declare, it says, gather ourselves together, O nation, not desire. All right? Like, you got that for me? Go ahead and read what you got.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 23. In those days also saw I Jews that had married wives of Ashdod and Ammon and of Moab. Verse 24. And their children spake half in the speech of Ashdod and could not speak in the Jews' language,
right?
But according to the language of each people. Verse 25. And I contended with them and cursed them.
No, he high-fived them.
Contended with them and cursed them.
He gave them certificates of participation.
Contended with them and cursed them and smote.
He gave them certificates of honor and excellency and excelling in excelling in arts.
Contended with them and cursed them.
See what I'm saying? Like, anytime that we do things that's not pleasing to the Most High God, there's certain contexts and certain words that follow after to let us know that those things are not pleasing to the Most High God. And they're not pleasing to the Most High God, then they most definitely should not be pleasing to us, those who swear our allegiance and say that we follow the Most High God and that we love Him. Because if you love Him, you will love what He loves, and you would hate what He hates.
Right.
But we understand you don't hate what He hates. You actually love what He hates. How do we know this? Because you love to do them.
Yeah. Right.
You don't try to get away from it. You like, yo, you see that chick right there? Ooh, she look good. I know she not my people, but I'm gonna deal with it. Vice versa. Ooh, look at him. He's so handsome. He got power and money. I want to deal with him. Oh, he look like Edward from Twilight. Whatever your fictional character that you know, these women, They get them through cosplay and fictional characters in books.
Right.
And they fall in love with these idea of these, I guess your alter egos. I don't know. But, I've seen it, When I say I've seen it, I say it like this, my ex-wife, right? And just any other woman. I'm team Jeffy. I'm team this. That's what she's saying is that it's something about him that she like. She desires him to win. She desires him to be successful. She desires him to have whatever it is that he wants, and she wants to see him win. So she's team this and team that. So what do you think is going to happen if she finds somebody that looks equivalent to that fictional character you see in the movie and this, that, and the third?
Right.
She's going to have a desire for that brother. She's going to have a burning desire to be with him over her own. So that's why when you see these movies that want to portray us as being boys in the hood, right? NWA. I'm beating B1000, which I feel like those people who did those movies are sellouts because they understand imagery and they understand, right, role models. You getting paid to promote madness in your own community. You're getting paid to promote an image that kids shouldn't even try to fit into. Go ahead.
If I may, what you're saying is so heavy. What the Lord is bringing out through you is so heavy. Is that many times we hear, even through Christianity, sisters holler, Jesus is my husband and stuff like this and like that. But they'll run with that image that's painted out to be Christ.
Right.
And it's like they made it like God is this person he's not, and painted out to be someone he's not, with images that is not like him. So now they associate that with the power and all of the other things that come along with that. It's heavy. It's crazy.
Exactly. And then they this is a piggyback on what you're saying. But I've seen some posts, and I'm not trying to get too far down this rabbit hole, but I've seen posts where black women be like, well, black men, they like this and that and the third, and have all these negative things to say about black men, and turn around and say, as if the Caucasian man was the savior and he's the greatest thing that happened. They know how to treat women. But you have to understand that hurt people.
Right.
And what a lot of people don't understand is that we're still a nation that's coming up from a place of hurt. And you have to understand the cause and the effect. Who caused that hurt? Who caused that pain? Right?
Right.
It's the very, very same person you saying that he know how to treat a lady. Well, let's go back to 1969. Let's go back to 1966 and see how they was treating our women.
Right.
Let's see how they was treating our men then. It's easy. It's like this. It's easy to splurge money on a woman that's not yours. You didn't not the R word, but pillaged and kidnapped and took all the resources of the earth, and then you turn around and talking about get like me, I'm rich, I'm multi-millionaire, and you got these women folding backwards.
Right.
They know how to treat a man. They know how to come and buy things from me and pamper me and this, that. Well, how do you think they were able to do that? If they had not conquered us, could they have done that? If they had not stole from us, would they still have that same power? If they had not done the things they've done to us, would you still have the same love?
Right.
Because this is baffling to me. But again, we are destroyed people. I get it. That doesn't make it right. But Salakia, continue reading for me in Nehemiah, because he contended with them. You have to understand that what they were doing was not righteous. And the kids weren't even speaking the language that was given to us. They are here speaking the language of the captivities. They're speaking Ashdod. They're speaking Moab. They're speaking all these other languages but Hebrew, Aramaic, right? They're speaking all these other languages.
Come on. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 25 continued. Contended with them and cursed them and smote them, certain of them. And smote certain of them and plucked off their hair and made them swear by God, saying, ye shall not give your daughters unto their sons,
right,
nor take their daughters unto your sons, or yourselves.
Continue.
Come, verse 26. Did not Solomon, king of Israel, sin by these things? Yet among many nations was there no king like him, who was beloved of his God, and God made him king over all Israel. Nevertheless, even him did outlandish women cause to sin.
So it's saying even Solomon, who God loved, right? He reigned over all of Israel in his entire life. Even him did outlandish women, women of other cultures, women of other nations, women who were not of Israel. Outlandish women caused him to sin. So if these women caused Solomon to sin, what makes you think you any different, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, and same for you women? What makes you think you're going to be any different? Now, I want y'all to understand this when it comes to men and women. There's a big difference. And I say when a Israelite man chooses to be with a different breed of woman, with a different culture of a woman, because you have to understand that his seed will always be an Israelite. And the scriptures declare that the sin of the father will not go to no longer go to the sin of the son, right? So as far as these children who are Israelites, and their mom may be Caucasian, their mom may be Asian, or their mom may be any other nationality other than, but their father's an Israelite, you have to understand that you are an Israelite.
Right.
And that this covenant pertains to you as much as it pertains to me, right?
Right.
And so I want to get that out of the way. But as far as the women who cleave unto the other nations, you have to understand that you have chosen your judgment, because what you did is you put your faith in their God. When you stepped out and you start dealing with other nations, you put your faith in that Caucasian man. You put your faith in that Asian man's God. You put your faith in those gods, and that will be your downfall.
Right.
Because you believed that their gods were greater than our God.
Right.
Because you have to understand, the God of the Bible, the sheep are the men are his sheep. The sheep that he talks about all the time are the men of Israel. When it talks about the seed of Israel, only men carry the seed of Israel. Women don't carry the seed of Israel. Women can't bring forth an Israelite child. Right? We have to understand that. She whatever is planted in her, that's what she brings forth.
Right.
Lock it. Go ahead and continue reading for me.
Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 27. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil and transgress against our God and marrying strange wives? Verse 28.
Like you saw right there. So that's rhetorical. Shall we then hearken unto you to do all this great evil? It's evil. The scriptures declare it to be evil, not just a small, but great evil. Shall we hearken unto you to do all this great evil, to transgress against our God in marrying strange wives? Just because the world says it's okay, that is a great evil. And it's also a transgression against the Most High God.
Right.
Which is sin. It's sin, right? So Salaki, go ahead and give me Ezra chapter 9 and start in verse 1 for me. We gotta wake up, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man. We have to decide who we're gonna serve. The Most High God said his covenant hadn't been done away with, right? He not dealing with other nations like that. He made a covenant with Israel, right? Let's like go ahead and read what you got.
Come. That was Ezra chapter 9, verse.
Ezra chapter 9, verse 1.
Come. Ezra chapter 9, verse 1. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites and Hittites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jezebites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. Verse 2, for they have taken their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in those trespasses.
Pause right there. So now we see it again, how it's frowned upon. It's a negative connotation that comes with interracial dating. It says, now when these things were done, the princes came to me saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands according to their abominations. Now it's an abomination. It's wicked. It's disgusting. It's an abomination. Even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, and the Egyptians, and the Amorites. They took all these nations. They mingled themselves. Instead of maintaining being separate like the Most High God required us, they said, hey, yo, look, Shawty bad, man. Shawty looking good. Y'all like the way she wear them shingles on her face and stuff like that. I like the way she wear them bells. I don't know how they was dressing back then, but you get what I'm saying. Apparently, we thought the women looked amazing enough to mingle, co-mingle and mingle ourselves with, even though we have received a direct order from the Most High God to not do so. Because that's exactly what these commandments are. When you understand that the Most High God is a champion of war, he's a military man. These commandments are orders. Right? Orders that should not be broken, that should not be deviated from. He gave the order to not go deal with these other nations. And even though we received the order and we stepped out and roamed, we still did things that were not pleasing, as if he could not see us. I know God not right here. He can't be right here. Because that's how we move today, right? We go behind closed doors, we shut our door, we get in the closet, we do all these things, whatever the case may be, and do things, and we think the Most High God can't see us. Understand, just because man can't see you, just because man doesn't know what you're doing, does not mean God doesn't know what you're doing.
Right.
That's why these things are in the scriptures. They're in the scriptures because guess who was seeing it? God was seeing it. And God shown it to the prophets and to the priests, that the ones who wrote the book. Remember, all scriptures given by instruction of the Most High God.
Right.
So you have to understand, these are not men witnessing these things go down. These are men writing things based on what the Most High God instructed them to write. And the Most High God said these are abominations. But how they were moving was wicked. For they had mingled themselves with the other nations. He says it's an abomination. Right?
Right.
Go ahead and continue reading.
Color one color. Ezra chapter 9, verse 3.
Right.
And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and mingled in mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard and sat down astonished. Verse 4.
Pause right there. Man, y'all see what that brother did? That brother afflicted himself. When he heard such atrocities, when he heard the things that were going on in Israel, the abominations, he plucked out they didn't say he went and got the clippers and cut them. He plucked the hairs out of his head.
Right.
And then plucked the beard off of his face. I'm telling y'all right now, that is not a joyful thing.
Right.
It's not something I look forward to. I've plucked, right, my beard sometimes. And when you accidentally grab I'll call it a bushel. I don't know what you would call it. When you grab more than one hair and get to pull it, I'm telling you, it brings tears to your eyes. So this brother was so upset that he ripped his clothes, ripped his garments, plucked the hairs off his head and the hairs off his chin, and he rent his clothes, right? The brother, this thing is not a light thing. This thing is not what we would consider God. God knows my heart. God's okay with it. God's cool by it. No, that's you coming with your own, you letting your heart deceive you. You leaning onto your own understanding, which we broke down a couple weeks ago, right? You leaning onto your own understanding to make you feel good about the wickedness that you're doing.
Right.
Well, I'm doing it because I have to, or I'm doing it because of this. We always try to make excuses of why we're doing wicked things to comfort ourselves.
Right.
Because if we don't comfort ourselves, that conviction of the wicked things that we're doing is going to come upon us, and we're gonna feel ashamed and shamefaced, right? So we always come up with excuses why we gotta be wicked. Go ahead and jump down to verse 11 for me in that same chapter.
Ezra chapter 9, verse 11. Which thou hast commanded by thy servants, the prophets, saying...
It's like, if you don't mind real quick, just jump up to verse 9 and read down. Verse 10 and read down.
Ezra chapter 9, verse 10. And now, O our God, what shall we say after this?
Right.
For we have forsaken thy commandments.
Right.
Verse 11. Which thou hast commanded by thy servants the prophets, saying, the land unto which thou go to possess it is an unclean land, with the filthiness of the people of the land.
Right.
Which their abominations which have filled it from one end to the other, to another, with their uncleanness.
Pause right there. So the Most High God is saying, we have forsaken the Most High God's commandment, right? The commandment that He made by His servants, the prophets, saying, well, hey, when you go into this land, you have to understand, the scriptures declare when we go into this land to possess it, that we were to do two things. When we go into this land, the nations that are in those lands are to serve us. If they don't serve us, we understand that they can't be there anymore.
Right.
They can't exist on that landmass, right? Unless they're serving us. When they serve us, they're serving the Most High God, right?
Right.
So it says we are forsaking it, right? The commandments by the prophets will say, possess it, and everything that's in it is unclean, with filthiness of the people of the lands. And so we find that in Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 30, where it says, everything of the other nations is an abomination, and the Most High God hates it. That's where it's kind of expounded on that these nations are wicked. They are filthy. The things they do, the Most High God does not like. There's nothing in them that He loves, because nothing in them is of Him. They didn't have the commandments. They didn't have this magnificent standard that He gave Israel.
Right.
So everything that they did was an abomination and was nasty, disgusting. You got to think about it. It's like, would you want somebody digging their nose and touch you?
Right.
Type disgusting, right?
Good night.
You would flee and run from somebody digging their nose, but you feel like you got to fight them if they do that. But let some wickedness that the Most High God is commanding. You okay with doing sinning against the Most High God? You comfortable with sinning against the Most High God?
Right.
Why? Because you've been groomed to be wicked.
Right.
You've been groomed to like the things of the world. You've been groomed to love interracial dating because of the imagery that you see on TV. And this is why a lot of people are not comfortable with it in their own lives, because the imagery of TV has portrayed this lifestyle that's not privy to us.
Right.
Remember, the scriptures declared that Jacob was a simple man. He's a man who herd cattle, lives in tents. You remember the precept? I can't remember exactly where it is, but it was a precept where it talks about how to the Egyptians, cattlemen were like an abomination to them. That was a disgusting thing to be a cattleman.
Right.
Which is why when Joseph's family came to Egypt, what happened? They separated them. They gave them the land of Goshen. All the cattlemen was over in the land of Goshen. In Egypt, they continued to party how they, party like a rock star. And do things, I guess you would say, like a city almost, like we see today. America's a big city. All these other nations are a big city, are full of filth and disgust, and that's what we see when we look out into the streets of America, right? Filth and disgust, right. Abominations from one city to the other. Man, it just said that from one corner to the other corner. You look from one side of America to the other side of America, all you see is filth. All you see is abominations and wickedness.
Right.
And then we supposed to believe that this is the nation of the Most High God. This is a nation that fears the Most High God. No, they fear God, but it's not the God of the Bible. We gotta wake up, Israel. It's like it. Go ahead, continue reading verse 12 for me.
Cut on one kind. Ezra chapter 9, verse 12. Now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace.
Yep.
Or their wealth.
Yep.
Forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever.
Right here. So it says, now therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take the daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever. Because what we're trying to do, we're trying to seek their peace. We didn't have Martin Luther King march. We didn't have Malcolm X come out here and speak. We've had tons of civil rights movement people come out here and seek the peace of this nation. And we still, to this day, have not received such said peace. And we're still chasing the rabbit down the rabbit hole when it comes to their wealth.
Right.
And what I mean by chasing the wealth, how many have we to this day? I say to this day because it still happens. Go to a gas station, I see my people out there buying $100 worth of lottery tickets.
Right.
Right. See my people going out here trying to get rich the same way they got rich by trying to not gonna say that aspect of it, robbing and stealing and killing. It's not you're not making it.
Right.
Trying to do things the way they did it, we don't succeed in that. We can't succeed in buying lottery tickets. We can't succeed in going to casinos. We can't succeed in robbing and killing. Because the things that they did, we cannot do.
Right.
They stole masses of money. They've done horrible things and have not been held accountable. But as soon as one of our people steal a bag of chips or it's something equivalent to anything similar to the modes and the methods they use to become rich and powerful, well, we're getting hit with the hammer. We're getting years upon years and life sentences.
Right.
And turn around and see them do the same crime or something even far worse, and their punishment's months.
Right.
Year. Can't even say years. Year. Why? Because we're not to seek their peace, nor their wealth. We're supposed to be strong and lean unto the Most High God, because that's where our strength is. That's our rock.
Right.
He's our rock. He's not their rock. If we lean into our rock, then we will be strong. And we'll have, good, and we'll be in the land, right? We'll be able to leave it to our children an inheritance forever.
Right.
If we did what's required of us. But we too busy seeking their peace, seeking their wealth, trying to make them feel comfortable in the land that they took. I have never. That's like somebody coming to your house and robbing you for everything you got. And after he done robbed you for everything you got, you set a table for two and say, hey man, I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable. Make sure that you okay with what you did. Because I don't want you to feel threatened and take my life at this point. You took everything else. I want to make sure you feel comfortable and pray that you don't take my life.
Right.
And that's the mindset we have. We can't say we don't. Because outside that mindset, either we had the mindset that we're trying to live like them, we're trying to get rich like them,
right?
We're trying to obtain power like them. Man, everything we need is right here in this book. And if we're not doing those things, we're not, because when we say, you understand, those who are out here robbing and killing, they're in prison. But for the rest of the masses that's not doing that, we're the ones setting the table. We're trying to make them feel comfortable in the nation where they stole everything.
Right.
I'm gonna look past all the atrocities you did. I just want to make sure you feel comfortable and make sure that you okay, that you don't take my life now, because you took everything else.
Right.
I'm gonna let you know right now, that's not the spirit of the Most High God. That is not the spirit of a champion. But that's not what this is. That's not what this breakdown is about, right? This breakdown is literally about interracial dating, and we have to understand that it's indeed wicked, right? It's not. It's not of the Most High God. So, like, go ahead and give me Ezra chapter 10 and verse 2, and read through verse 5.
And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of El, answered and said to Ezra, we have trespassed against our God, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Verse 3. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives, and such are as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law.
Okay, pause right there. So, but Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, is saying, right? He's trying to tell Ezra, he's acknowledging now what Ezra just spoke not too long ago, man. Y'all trespassed, y'all done the abominations, you've done the things that's wicked to the Most High God, right? So Shechaniah is saying, hey, man, what you're saying is right and exact. We have trespassed against our God. We have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. He's saying, hey, it's hope. The reason there's hope is because they see it. They acknowledge it. See, in the world we got right now, where we come up, these priests and prophets come out here and tell you that what you're doing is wrong. There's no hope. Why? Because you can't even see where you're wicked. You can't even identify that the thing that you have done is disgusting and it's distasteful and it's not of the Most High God. You can't even acknowledge it. So there is no hope in Israel right now because our people can't even acknowledge that we made a mistake, right? But he's saying, hey, there's hope. Why? Because they acknowledged that they had trespassed against the Most High God, right? So verse 3, he says, now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives. We're going to change that. What he's saying is, now therefore let us make a covenant with the Most High God to put away all our wickedness.
Right.
Because that's what it is. That there was wickedness that they did. They're putting away the wives. Why? Because that them being with those wives is wickedness. If other men of Israel saw them with these strange wives, or the kids coming up in Israel saw them with these strange wives, guess what they would think? Oh, it's cool for us to have strange wives. It's cool for us to be with other races. It's cool for us to be with other nationalities. You see how when we make one bad mistake and we try to hold and make it right, it affects all the future generations versus us having hope and believing in the Most High God and saying, hey, man, I messed up. Let me put away my wickedness. Let me stop this. But in the world where they say socially acceptance, we understand being drunk and alcoholism they look at that with a negative connotation. They have AA meetings.
Right.
And people earn medals for being sober and this, that, and the third. They acknowledge that. What's another thing they acknowledge? These meetings that they have where people have to go to these meetings.
I guess controlled substance reform, like with other controlled substances.
Right. Other controlled substances. They have reform classes.
Any addiction reform.
Right. There you go. Any addiction. So these things are socially acceptable. Not only I say socially acceptable, but when I say socially, we acknowledge these things as a nation.
Right.
Substance abuse is a problem.
Right.
Alcoholism is a problem. Sex addiction, all these things, any type of addiction is a problem. We acknowledge these things and we say, hey, we need to fix it. But when it comes to interracial dating and doing the things that's not pleasing to the Most High God, we say nothing. Because we believe that it's okay. We believe that God created these women and these men on the earth so that we could be with them. Right? But he's saying, hey, let's make a covenant to put away our wives. And as such are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and those that tremble at the commandment of our God. When it says those that tremble, you have to understand that fear of the Most High God is what? The beginning of knowledge.
Right.
The fear of the Most High God is the beginning of life. When you fear the Most High God, that means you're more privy to do the things that He said versus what man says. That's what He's saying right here. Those that tremble at the commandment of our God, and let it be done according to the law. Let it be done according to the commandments of the Most High God. Right?
Right.
But we, like I said, the scriptures do declare later on is that the sins of the father is not held on the son. You know what I'm saying? When I say that, again, if you an Israelite, you know your mother's Asian, you know your mother's Caucasian, you know your mother is something other than an Israelite, you know your father is in need, you know, so-called Israelite. I mean, so like your father's an Israelite, like so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, Puerto Rican man, Guatemalan, Haitian, Cuban, all, you know, the 12 tribes. We got a chart. Make sure you check out ISUPK.com. We got a big chart of all the tribes. But if your father falls in that lineage, understand that you are an Israelite, and there are requirements and things that's required of you by the Most High God, and that you are a chosen people. And yeah, your father may have sinned, but his sins are not your sins. And you have to make sure that you come in and do what's pleasing to the Most High God, right?
Right.
Because what they did here at this time, it was deemed to be righteous. It was a righteous act, and they put away the wives and the children that were born by these women. Because again, you got to think about it as a role model, as imagery. How does it look if I'm a priest or I'm this elected official and I'm dealing in the way that the Most High God is not commanding me? I can't then turn around and say, "Hey man, you can't interracially date. You can't be here. You can't do this. You can't do that." Everybody's gonna look at me and be like, "But hold up, man! Don't you have a wife of another nationality and ain't your kids all a mixed nationality?" Or, you know, they can look at my kids and tell that, you know, they're not full-blooded Israelites. We have to do the things that's pleasing to the Most High God because of trying to raise up a nation that fears and believes and trusts in the Most High God, which means that we have to follow every order to the detail, to the T, to the dotted I. We can't deviate, because as soon as we deviate, we leave room for others to deviate that much more. If I deviate on something, I'm like, well, he did cut the corner right there, so I should be able to cut the corner right here.
Right.
But guess what? If I don't cut the corner, this is why Christ came and he says he is the way. What I mean, but it's like let's say like this. And again, everybody understands this concept. If you're a fitness instructor and everybody wants to get fit, everybody wants to be in shape, everybody wants to be ripped, right? What's the first thing the fitness instructor said? Does he say, go out there and continue to do whatever you want to do? No, because whatever you wanted to do is gotten you exactly where you don't want to be.
Right.
So what's the fitness instructor say? He says, do like me. Follow me, and you will receive the body that you desire.
Right.
Christ came and he says, hey, the way you all have been doing things is wrong. Where it says that a man who lays with another woman and commits adultery, he says, I'm going to take it further. A man who looks at another man's wife has committed adultery, right?
Right.
He says, I am the way. Follow me, do what I do, and the kingdom is yours.
Right.
And guess what Christ did? He kept every law. He didn't deviate. He didn't cut corners. He kept every last one of them. And unlike what the church says, he kept them because nobody else could. No. He's the example. He's exemplary. He is what we should all esteem to be and become.
That's right.
Perfect in this word. Not deviating, not cutting corners, not trying to fit our lifestyle or us becoming, you get what I'm trying to say, cookie cutter God into our lifestyle. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
We have to do what's been put before us, what's been shown. It can't be done, it can be accomplished, and it will be accomplished. Right? So Lockie, go ahead and give me Judges 3, 6 through 8. Like we have to. The first thing we gotta do, we gotta love ourselves, and the way you love yourself, and the way the scriptures declare it is that you have to keep the commandments. This is how we love ourselves. This is how we show that we love the children of God when we keep the commandments, and the commandments are not grievous. So guess what? What the scriptures are saying is, if you don't keep the commandments, you don't have any desire to keep the commandments, you're still in the place of hurt. You hate yourself, right? And you hate your brother. You can't love yourself because you're not keeping the commandments. There's nothing that you love about you. Because you haven't even accepted the one who created you, right?
Right.
But Salaki, go ahead and read what you got for me.
Come on, kind. Judges, Salaki, that was Judges 3 and
Judges
6.
3 and 6, kind.
Come on, kind. Judges chapter 3, verse 6. And they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods.
And serve who God?
Their gods.
No, our God.
Their gods.
The Most High God.
Their gods.
The God of the Bible.
Their gods.
Whoa, okay, go ahead and continue to read.
Come on, Judges chapter 3, verse 7. And the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Lord.
They did great things.
Evil in the sight of the Lord.
They did things the Most High God loves.
Evil in the sight of the Lord.
Go ahead, they did evil.
Come on. They did evil in the sight of the Lord and forgot the Lord their God and served Belial in the groves. Verse 8. Therefore, the anger of the Lord,
The love,
the anger of the Lord,
the generosity,
the anger of the Lord,
the joy,
the anger of the Lord,
the anger of the Most High God. Go ahead.
the anger of the Lord was hot against Israel, and he sold them into the hand of the Rashathaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Cushan Rashathaim 8 years.
Right there. So the Most High God, his anger was kindled. Why? And it says, verse 6, it says, and they took the daughters to be their wives and gave their daughters to the sons to serve their gods. Serving their gods is what happens. When we take on other nations, we tend to serve their gods, not our God, not the God of the Bible, not the creator, but their God. Right? Verse 7, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of the Most High God and forgot the Lord their God and served who? Balaam and the groves. They stopped serving the Most High God. So guess what our people do today? We still serve Baal, which is Sunday worship.
Right.
When we go to church on Sunday and we fill up these multi-billion, multi-mega million churches on Sunday, and we're serving Balaam.
Right.
Balaam. Right? We're serving the sun god. We're not serving the Most High God from the Bible. We're serving their gods. Right? And so what did it say? It didn't say God was happy. It didn't say he was joyful. It didn't say he was proud. There was no positive reinforcement in the scriptures to follow this wickedness. Like I was stating before, we have to understand, we have to read books in context. When there's something great happens, it's words of wisdom, words of affirmation, words of encouragement. Continue, son, keep my commandments. Right? Raise your children up in my way so they do not depart. All these things are, right, good things.
Right.
You don't see any negative connotation, but as soon as we do something wicked, you see things like this. Therefore, the anger, didn't say joy, the anger of the Most High God was against Israel, was hot against Israel. And he sold them into the hand of the Cushan Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. Where are we at now, Israel, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man? We are out here committing abominations, evil in the sight of the Most High God,
right?
And we're serving other gods. No different than what the Israelites are doing right here. We're serving other gods, and we have the audacity to think the Most High God He's in heaven, joyfully watching us and doing this.
Right.
When the scriptures literally tells us that when we do this act, this thing, his anger is hot against Israel. He's not happy. He's not joyful. And when he's not happy and he's not joyful and he's upset and he's angry, what does he do? He sold them, right, into the hands of the Cush. I'm going to say Cushans, right?
Right.
You understand? I'm going to abbreviate the word Cushans. He sold us into the hands of the Cushans. So if he sold us into the hands of the Cushans, then how can we can't put together that we're being sold into the hands of the Americans? We're being sold into the hands of those who hate us. We're being sold into the hands of those who despise us. We're being sold into the hands of those who don't want us to live.
Right.
And we see it every day on the news. We see it every day on social media, right? The so-called love is not there. Right? And they'll use a justice system to justify their wicked actions towards us. But here, the scriptures literally declare that interracial dating, the Most High God is not pleased with that. He's not up there clapping and tears of joy, and he's just, I can't believe they're getting married. He's not doing that. He's more or less like this. God damn it, another one.
Right.
Man, is anybody not reading this Bible? Like, nobody's keeping my commandments down there? Do I got to go down there and show them what it looks like to keep my commandments? I'll go down there and show them what happens to those who don't keep my commandments.
Right.
He's furious. He's not excited. He's not upset. I'm telling you. The reason I understand, my anger's kindled sometimes when I see it. I'm upset. And I'm not upset to the point where I'm like, oh man, she could have got with. No, it's not about getting with me. It's about being righteous. It's about doing the will of the Most High God. That's why I get upset. That's why my anger is kindled. Not for a lot of the things that we go through is because the scriptures declare my people is destroyed due to the lack of knowledge.
Right.
But I also have to look at, God damn, they did a good job destroying us, man.
Right.
That we so lost in the sauce that we can't even tie our own shoes. We can't even see when we walking in error. That's why my anger gets kindled sometimes. Now, I don't desire to be with nobody. I desire righteousness, just like I desire righteousness for myself. What I mean by that is I love myself, and I love what God loves, and I love my people. I don't want to see my people fail. I want to see my people win. So that's the issue. A lot of people just want to see themselves win. It's not about seeing me win. I want to see my people win. Because when my people win, we win. Right? We win together. Right? This was never no I. It was a we. It was never a, you. It was a us. We have to come together. The scriptures declare, gather yourself together, all nations not desire. We need to come together. We need to win as a team, as a nation. So when I say anger, it's not that anger. It's like, oh man, I gotta go beat them up. No, it's anger to the point where it's like I gotta fix that. I gotta help my people. I gotta get my people the knowledge. I gotta get them the education. I gotta edify them. I gotta let them know. Because if I don't let them know, the world's not gonna let them know. If I don't wake up ready to give them this truth, who is? Right? And that's what it looks like to serve. When I say serve the Most High God, we all want to serve the Most High God. But you have to understand that those who pretend, they put on this facade, is so sickening. They get up here and they put on this passive aggressive and smile and talk about prosperous and money and God's coming with a blessing. And the scriptures literally declare that. The scripture said that those who speak of the prophets that speak of peace are not sent by the Most High God.
Right.
Because you have to show me any prophet that came speaking peace. Not one prophet came speaking peace. Every prophet came to warn the people of Israel. He didn't come speaking peace and prosperity and money falling from the ceiling and your pockets getting fatter.
Right.
He came to warn you. Turn from your wicked ways so the Most High God can perform his promises. So he can perform his covenant. Right? So like, give me Proverbs 5 and 18. We got to wake up so-called black man, Hispanic man, and the American man, right? We got to want to win. We got to want to come together. We got to have a desire to love ourselves, right? And when we love ourselves, we love our people. When we love ourselves, we love to see our people win. We don't want to see our people lose, right? When one of us get hurt, it's like all of us getting hurt. Right. I look at it like this. Y'all seen ants? Boy, ants is a bad click of insects, right? But what I realized, them cats don't forget one another. They don't leave nobody behind. One ant, it don't matter how big the person is, they come out that ant hill, they all ride. Right. They all ride. Yo, Tony said he just saw Joey get stepped on. What? And they all coming out the ant hill. Yeah. Right? And they about to lay fire on you. They about to put something on you. They're gonna make you wish you never step on another anthill again. Right. That's how we gotta be. We gotta be like that with our people. Instead, we like this. We see something happen to somebody. I'm glad it wasn't me. Right. I don't know what I would do. Glad it wasn't me. Nah, we gotta be like them ants. And I'm gonna give y'all one more example. When I say ants, it's like this. When I was little, I used to watch those cold cases, unsolved mysteries, right? Right. It'd be cold cases from like 1913. Cold cases, and these cold cases are always Caucasian people. I've never seen a cold case from that far back. They'd be somebody of brown. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like brown color. Right. It's like it's this cold cases for like people from Caucasian people. And then when you look at like when Caucasian kids come up missing, it'd be like an immediate search team, like the animals and the dogs and the police. You know what I'm saying? Like it just be a whole committee of people that immediately spawn out of nowhere. Like you watch, like you're playing GTA, and all of a sudden a bunch of NPCs will show up and start searching. Right. But then a person of color comes up missing. It's not in the news. No Amber Alert. No real community effort. Now, I'm not saying am I saying it never happens? But I'm not saying it never happens. But what I'm saying is it's so far and few and wide. Right. Let me tell you like this. Let's say we didn't have an Amber Alert. Let's say somebody did try to come to our community and try to snatch up one of our kids. And let's say we were like ants, right? As soon as they attempted to grab little Sasha, little Tina, right? I'm just making up some names. That the antennas, the parental antennas, the nation's antennas started, and a slew of colored people came out of nowhere and started just like a flood of people came down on the person who attempted to do this heinous act. Right. I promise you, it would start speaking volumes, and it'll be a thing that will less likely happen in our community if we move like that. Equivalent to ants. Some get ready to pop off, or something comes into our neighborhood. We coming out. Nah, man, it's not. This ain't the neighborhood. This ain't the nation. This ain't the place for that. Right. And we start moving like that. It will speak volumes. Because we have a lack of love for one another, the other nations, well, they have a lack of love for us. Right. Well, they don't care about their kids. They don't care about what's going on. We can come into their community and take, steal, and continue to do whatever we want to them, and they think it's okay. Right. We gotta wake up. All right. Salaki. I know I went a little tangent, but when I say I love my people, I love my people. Right? I love what God loves. Salaki, go ahead and read what you got for me.
Proverbs chapter 5, verse 18.
Right.
Let thy foundation be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Verse 19.
No, right there. That's it. I'm gonna stop right there. It says, "Let thy fountain be blessed, Bless. Words of confirmation, affirmation, right? Let you're being blessed. Everybody wants to be blessed, right? Rejoice. It's a good thing, right? With the wife of thy youth. When it says the wife of thy youth, it's not saying you out here wifing women at 7 and 9. No, it's saying your nation, the women that the people that you've grown up around, right? The woman that you decide the wife of your kindred, of your people. Rejoice in that. Right. The scripture said earlier that our forefathers married within their kindred, and they were blessed. Be blessed by doing what? Marrying within your kindred, within your people. Right. Because when you marry within your people, you'll be blessed. Because guess what you don't have to do? You don't have to say, go over here, and she say, why? Or, hey, do this. And she say, why? And then everything that you ask and need her to do, it's a debate, it's a conversation. So it's long and drawn out. At this point, you might as well have just done it yourself. Right. Versus a woman who was raised to keep the commandments, a husband who was raised to keep the commandments. When y'all come together, everything makes sense because you're equally yoked. Right. When you say, before you can even say, go do this, she's already on it. Why? Because she's been doing the law since she was young. You've been keeping the law since you were young. You'll be blessed when you deal with your people. But when you deal with a woman of another nation, she's going to say, I got to go keep the land. I got to keep the, help me out, the Day of Morte, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's different. I got to keep Cinco de Mayo. I got to keep St. Patrick's Day. Right. I got to go visit my daddy. My daddy's B-Day. I got to do this. I got to go here. I got to go. And you're not going to be blessed. You're going to be worn out. You're going to be tired. Because every time it comes to something that you want to do, when I say you, so-called black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, it's going to be downplayed. Why we got to do this? It's going to be a long conversation. You got to explain everything. By that time, you don't really want to do it no more. And for her, it's routine. It's business as usual. Right. She's going to what if and talk you to death. But if you get with a woman that's of your kindred, you ain't got to worry about that because she's been raised. And just, I'm about to end the class, just to give a preference to that, not preference, an example, is the story of Esther. Right? Mordecai raised Esther in the ways the Most High God desired the women to be raised. And when the king, now this man's not of Israel, we understand that, but through her obedience to Mordecai, the Most High God used Esther to save Israel, right? And what happened was, just to give y'all a long story short, when the king saw Esther, he was pleased with her. The way she moved, her mannerisms was not like the other women. Because our women are raised differently. Our women are taught differently than the other nations. Remember, we receive a magnificent standard where the rest of the nations, they have, well, you get it, boredom. Right. So, I mean, it is what it is. But with that being said, that concludes my class. Priest and Officer Mataz with the I.S.U.P.K. I'm going to go ahead and read the service announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule from new brother and sister. When a new brother and sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. My Ashura, which means 10th in Hebrew, 10% of every penny of any increase Yahweh gives you, gives to the treasury department or teacher, priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you will like. That being said, men of Israel, Ma'ajim, which means stand. Amay Shabbat, Ma'ajim, Barak, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Brakathon, Yahweh Sar, courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Amay Shabbat, Amay, Barak, Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashem Yahweh. Yahweh, class dismissed.